Hello YouTubes, this is Grimweird coming back at you with more Enigmatica 2 Expert Mod Pack playthrough action for Minecraft 1.12.2. As always, we are joined by our lovely avatar, Zombie Steve, and we have made some progress on blood magic. I didn't film a lot of it because it was literally very, very boring. A lot of standing here cutting myself, a lot of standing here cutting villagers. Um, yeah, just a lot and lot of cutting. Sort of icky, but hey, we're making progress. So, holy carpal tunnel syndrome, bad man. I was cutting on myself for a while, and that got real old real quick, especially when I had to, pull things on and off of here. So I quickly decided we had to automate this some. So what I've got going on here is I've got an input and an output chest, just to try and keep things from not sending extra stuff in there. So the input chest has a bunch of living rock in it currently. We are turning those into blank slate, which is outputting here. Um, to get it to only send one at a time, which seemed important, I got a basic filter here, so it will export whatever of these I put in. So either the living rock or the tier 1 slate, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, etc. Um, so that will take things out, and that's good. And the fact that I don't have outputs in there, like for instance, if I had the blank slate going back into this chest, then it would start shooting blank slates into our blood altar, and I actually need a bunch of blank slates to make the blank runes. But the key thing here was on the insert into the blood altar, I had to do a limited item filter and then whitelist one of these. So now it's only bringing in one at a time of any of these items. So that allows it to bring in one living rock, as we see here, and it progresses through its stuff, turns into a blank rune, and then the blank rune gets sucked out over here into this chest. So for here, I have to make sure that it's only sucking out blank slate. Obviously, if it could suck out living rock, it would just take the living rock and nothing would ever get accomplished. Um, I could probably do something fancy to make it, only pull out what I'm wanting to do, but right now I am just, changing this. So for instance, if I throw in an input of blank slates, and let's say I want to make say I want to make reinforced slate, then I will just wipe this out and put reinforced slate here. I could probably do something with like signal colors and channels and yada yada, but it's really not that big of a deal. So that is good. Also, you can see we've got a shady character up here. As soon as I automated the chest and could sort of like, zone out while this was going on and then just tried to keep my blood altar filled, of course I immediately used my sacrificial dagger to kill myself and ended up using up all my health and dying. So that really was old real quick. So I thought to myself, okay, this is not going to fly. I got to automate getting blood into there, at least semi-automate it. So I made this structure here to close out or, to work on industrial foregoing. We did make a mob duplicator. I had never used one before. But basically it takes essence, fluid essence, and you can use a mob imprisonment tool to tell it what mob to do. And it takes, of course, power. And if we show the working area, without any add-ons, it will spawn things 2 above and 2 below. I'm not letting it spawn above because there's actually glass there. But there is open space on the 2 below. So he's able to spawn down there. So if we hide that again, he's got 2 spaces and then a slab to stand on. And then a circle of, obviously I don't need the corners ones, but it just sort of looked nicer. But he's got 4 or a circle of glass around him so that he can't leave and go anywhere. And when we take our Dagger of Sacrifice, now this is the one that you use on people other than yourself, and we whack him, then we get blood going down there. And I've used up everything that's down there, so I should probably... Oh, we're on our last one. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this off of there, because I don't think it'll finish unless it has enough blood to finish. So let's fill this up. Now this seems horrible that I'm using villagers. Let me tell you why. First of all, I did try and get a shady guy. So the guy that I took and brought here was a shady guy. So I figured, at least I'd get a swindler in here, a criminal type. The problem is that when I put him in here, it'll spawn any kind of villager. But the villagers do give more life, what do they call this? Life essence. Than me sacrificing myself, or than monsters apparently. So if we look here, it's at 7,200. Now it's at 76. I was only getting 100 from hostile mobs, from zombies, when I tried them in here. And the reason I didn't want to do zombies was I didn't want to bother setting up with, some sort of collection, because it was, of course, spraying brains and infernal essence and, all those drops, spraying drops everywhere. And I just didn't want to deal with setting up a trash can and a vacuum chest to collect all that garbage and throw it away. So I looked to see what kinds of monsters you could put in here, what kind would work well with the Dagger of Sacrifice, and noticed that villagers were better life essence each than monsters, and so I just went ahead and did them. I feel pretty bad about it, and this is sort of an icky mod, but whatever. So this is the kind of stuff I've been doing for the last couple of hours. It's pretty damn boring. I did try to slap a mechanical user here. In fact, I had one and I had to tear him down. So I slapped a mechanical user here, put the Dagger of Sacrifice in there, told him to click on these things, and it did not work. So then after Googling, I found out that indeed the mod pack designers have coded it so that fake players cannot wield the Dagger of Sacrifice and actually get blood out of them. You have to sit here and click them yourself over and over. So my mouse hand is cramping up something fierce. But we're almost done. We've almost gotten to the place where we need to be for the moment. And that is, we've got a functional thing here. And we've gotten our orb. If I pause a moment here, we're up to a Magician Blood Orb, so that's the tier 3 one. We got enough capacity to maybe do the Master Blood Orb, but I don't think we need it quite yet. And I'm sick of killing villagers, so we're going to give that a pass. One thing to note, safety tip, so to get these, the Blood Orbs are essentially wireless life essence. And so when you're doing some of these recipes, so let's take a look at one of the things we need to make. To do this, we need to make the Draft Evangelist. And so you'll see here it uses a blood orb, and the blood orb is essentially providing the power for this. And at first I thought, great, I got a blood orb, but then I noticed that it's only cycling through Magician and Master and Archmage. So you have to get up to at least the Magician Blood Orb, which is the tier 3 one, to have enough juice to actually do this alchemy combine. So, and to get that, if we look at the, let's see if we go uses. So to do that, I had to make sure that my altar had at least 25,000 life in it. And to do that, I needed to make a bunch of runes of capacity. Each of these runes of capacity ups at about 2,000. And so I've now got, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 10, 15, 20. So I've got like 40,000 worth of runes of capacity on there, which takes this from a capacity of 10,000 up to a capacity of 50,000. And the reason I've got it up to 50,000 is because I know I'm going to need it for the Master Blood Orb, which is next, which takes 40,000. So it's going to damn near drain my Blood Altar when I drop one of these in to make the Master, which I can do right now as soon as I fill this up. But to be honest, I'm so sick of this that we're going to take a bit of a break. We've gone as far as we really need to here. So the other thing I did was, so we are up to a tier 3. So I was able to, are we full? No, not close. I was able to make the bloodstone bricks, and these are blank runes. So we are up to a tier, let's see, 1, 2, 3, yes. And I did make the portals, or the beacons, I should say, for our tier 4. So all we need to do to get to our tier 4 altar is replace all of these construction blocks with actual runes. And so that's what we're working on right now. So, oh, that's why I had this one last living rock. So with this guy, we should have enough, come on, to make the rest of our blank runes. So we need, let's take a look, we need 52 blank runes, so we need 25 more. We need one more. Alright, I'm going to do one more here. Alright, we should have enough. I guess we did have enough, but whatever. So now we're going to, do I have enough of everything else? Do that. Do that and that. We're going to put our blood orb in there. Yes. So that should finish up our tier 4 or tier 5 blood altar. I've lost track. And now we can take out all of this construction block, which is fake runes left over from our just placing down a template, and we can put in real runes. Oops. My left hand, or my right hand, from all of this zombie, or all of this bloodletting that we're doing at this altar, is really starting to feel it. So we are about done with blood magic for a while. Now there is a way to automate this. So I told you that the Dagger of Sacrifice can't be fake playered. But it can be, there is a way to do this and automate it. But you got to set up a big old ritual of, I think it's like a ritual of suffering or something like that. And then basically make a mob farm. So we'll talk about that in a second, right after we do this. My hands. Blank runes. Alright. So now if we bring out our Seer's Sigil, we are at tier 5. Nice. Tier 5. So that is all active. And if we go back, so now we have to make this, which we can do now. I've got these. And I've got enough capacity to do that. So talk a minute about getting these. So getting these, you make the binding reagent, and then you get this bound blade. And when you shift click the bound blade in your hand, it starts doing a dot to you. And when you kill monsters with it, you get weak blood shards. So that was not really a big deal. That was actually pretty easy, which is why I didn't bother filming it. One thing I did do, though, was after killing myself before I decided I needed to sacrifice animals, you can see I've got my health bar pulsing, so I did go to my environmental tech personal beacon, and I took out the one I had for jump, and I took out one of my flight speeds, and I took out one of something else, maybe water breathing. And I put in 3 regeneration. So I was trying to sacrifice myself again for a while, but it was just too easy to zone out and kill myself. So that's when I decided to make this contraption. And my original thought would be that it was going to be that I could use a mechanical user, but like I said, they thought of that and made it so you can't do it that easy. However, there is a ritual that you can do. You can set up a bunch of ritual stones that will damage monsters and suck up their life essence. And so, oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. So what I did was I put a open blocks rotating elevator here. So now we're just down under it. So there's there's our blood altar right there. Etc. We already had this grass open area, and this down here I accidentally made when I was hitting a block and accidentally vein mined a bunch of stone under here. But the good news is that it turned out to be perfect, because we are probably going to set up a mob farm under here with a ritual of whooping mobs, and then we will be able to stop clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking on these poor villagers. So I'm going to try and get that figured out and set up before we do anything more. If we look at our book here, I've got the rituals complete. So we made a ritual stone, and we also needed to get up to Magician Blood Orb for this too. Before I can make this. So you can't set up that mob farm until you at least get up to not that one, not that one, Magician. So you got to get your capacity, you got to get your tier 3 and a capacity of 25,000 before you can get into this Master Ritual Stone, etc. But we did complete that, and so that's good. And so now we got to do some of this stuff. These are made by tier 4, so I don't know if you need this. The Ritual Tinkerer, which is can be used to move the affected area of a ritual. I don't know if you need that, but if so, then that's a tier 4. And I'm not sure what the activation crystals are, but I think that's what you use to activate the rituals. It's not going to surprise me if the ritual that we need is a high-level ritual, since it basically automates the whole damn thing. If we look in here and go up, the Ritual Master. So the one we are looking for, I think, is called need to do one of these for a component. So we will have to make a gathering of the Forsaken Souls. We need to do that to get our highest level Tartaric gem, I believe. But the one that actually will get us out of, will actually feed our blood altar, is, I think, Well of Suffering. This is the one. For those of you who prefer to use mobs instead of your own health, the Well of Suffering damages all living non-player entities in a 10-block radius and places the health in a connected altar. Boom. The ritual will deal 1 hit point per entity and place 25 LP in the altar, 100 for peaceful animals, which can be augmented with sacrifice runes. Yeah, so we're going to have to figure that all out and get that going. So, that's all good. So what else is going on? So one of the cool things was I did finally get out. You can see some of these purple tinted ones. So these are some of the secondary constellations. I figured those out. So just like the original, where you had to let's see, if we click our Akashic Tome into space, left click it into space, and then select that, and then open our thing here. So basically, much like we had to find the papers at the temples for the first 5, so we found those constellation papers, and then everything else we found after that said there's nothing here, and I thought that was because you didn't use that mechanic anymore, but it turns out you do still use that mechanic. So once you are attuned, once we became attuned to Vicio, as we did in this altar here, once we were attuned and we picked up more constellation papers, and so those are these bad boys. I went out and gathered some more of these, and the next 7 constellations were there. So I found 7 more pieces of paper that said, hey, here's, Horologium, here's, whatever the other ones are, Fornex and Octans and et cetera, Mineralis. And once I found those papers and looked through the telescope, then I could see them and draw them. So that's how it goes. You get the first 5 papers, you look through either a looking glass or a telescope, and you draw the first 5 constellations. Then you use one of those to attune yourself, and then once you are attuned, you can go get the rest of the papers, and once you have the rest of the papers, you can then see them. Like this one is Mineralis. So I've got one more blank one here. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure which one I'm missing. Anyway. But I've got most of them done. I'm not sure if I'm even going to need them in this playthrough, but I got them done. So all of this venturing into blood magic was actually so that I could finish my damn iridescent altar. So we needed to get runes of capacity, so I had to get up to at least a tier 3 to get runes of capacity. And then we also needed to make a draft of Angelus, and for that we had to get up to at least a magician's blood orb. And so that was also tier 3. And we had to make sure our capacity was high enough to handle this. So normally at tier 3, if you have no capacity runes in it, it's only at 10,000. So you've got to make a bunch of capacity runes just to get your tier 3 blood altar up enough to get your magician orb. And now we have all of that. And so we can go back to here. So I can't remember if I showed this thing. So we did do this table. And I think this is what we need to do now. So we're trying to make, this Draft Evangelist, and it takes these 6 things and a charged Magician Blood Orb. Oh, and I should speak a moment about charging it. So when you get a Blood Orb, it doesn't do anything. So that was also a source of confusion. So what you do is you put it in your hand and you shift right click. I'll just do it here. And it like damages you. And then it says current owner Grimweird. So basically you have to attune it to yourself. And then once you've attuned it to yourself, by shift right clicking with it in your hand, then you can place it on here and you'll see the sparkly effects and it'll charge up. So get the Magician Blood Orb, shift right click to attune it to you, and then put it in your blood altar to tune it up. And it does take a crap load of blood, so be aware of that. Alright, so we got that. So here, if we just put all this garbage in, and put our Magician's one there, and boom. Finally, we are making this. So this will be the last piece that we need to make our Iridescent Astral Sorcery altar. Hooray! Draft Evangelist. Boom. Yeah, just to show you, this probably needs some more charging now. So if we come over here, just to show you that mechanic if you haven't done this before. Yeah, see now it's got purple things coming off of it, and it's draining the pool, and it's getting new stuff into it. So we'll go ahead and kill some of these guys. I don't know how much it's going to take, but it might actually drain the pool all the way. So what we've got left to do is soaking up a ton. So I will probably never play Blood Magic again just because, you know, blood, blah, killing things. It's just all a little too gruesome for me. Okay, there it is. I'm one of those wimps that, you know, if I'm playing a Star Wars game, I play a Jedi, not a Sith. You know, I'm just one of those wimps. So that's now charged back up, which is good. Our pool is now down less than half full, which is bad, but my mouse hand hurts too much to deal with it. But we now have that, which means we now have... Put our reward cactus away, for crying out loud. We now have, I think, everything we need. So we got this and this, and I think we need an attuned crystal, don't we? Or, I can't remember. We need 4 buckets of starlight. Let's see what we need. 4 buckets of starlight, 4 runes of capacity, 4 any marble. Our elemental affinity reagent. It has to be a celestial crystal. We should have one of those. Celestial. I guess we'll use the small one. I guess you're probably better off using whichever one has the lowest purity. Because I think it's easier to grow them size-wise than it is to make them more pure. But I don't know if it matters. Whatever. We'll use this lower purity one. So So then we need, what else? We need the thingamabob, this guy. We do not need that. We need these. So we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 17. Probably missing something. Alright, so we need the 4 resonating gems, which we should have somewhere. Okay, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 17, 21 things. That sounds like a wrong number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Alright. That sounds like a perfectly good number. So we are ready to go. We just got to wait until nighttime, and I think we get our next thing here. Let's take a look at this. We can prepare to, we're going to need more structure around it. So, let's see. This module, or this manual, is a pain in the ass. Alright, let's see if it'll show me what the last one looks like. And it won't. Basically, I think all we do is add a little, add some structure up above here. So I'm going to pause the video. It is 7:30. So we got about 5 or 10 minutes for me to go look at a picture of this and make sure we have the extra blocks we need to add to this. So I'll be right back. Alright, the sun is setting, and I forgot to mention one thing about this. So I do have, this does take life essence, and I have an ender tank here. So one change that I did make was that I turned back on our industrial foregoing mob crusher here, which sucks life energy out of withers. I've got this only whitelisted for wither skeleton skulls because I've got so much of everything. That's the one monster drop that I guess I probably wouldn't mind having some more of. So I got a decent buffer of 250 some barrels here and an inner tank going back up over to this guy. So that is something you'll need to consider if you want to try this strategy. You should not only have to power the mob duplicator and put a imprisoned mob in it, but you also got to get that you got to get that life essence to it. And it uses up, I think, I forget how much it uses, maybe like 500 millibuckets per spawn. Anyway, something to think about. Now one thing, since Vicio is still up, I'm going to go ahead and try to attune this, because I was looking at pictures of iridescent altars, and most of the pictures I saw had a attuned celestial crystal up above them. So I don't know if it's required, but I do know that if it is, I want to have one. So we'll let that roll over there. And meanwhile, let's go ahead and load this bad boy up. Did it finish? No. Let's go ahead and load this up. So we want to try this recipe. It's not going to auto-load it for us. Oh, that's because I put that one over there. Well, I got another one on me. This isn't the ideal crystal, but we can always probably swap it out. So let's try this now. Hey, it auto-loaded it. And we've got the juice. So we're just humming and cooking and doing all the stuff. Alright, Iridescent Altar. And I learned more about radiance. Now I think based on the pictures, basically these were like, I don't know, something like this. I'll have to double check. Just hoping that Vicio thing over there finishes, because I think we might need to set that crystal up here in the middle. So something like that with this bad boy perched right in here in the middle above the thing. Anyway, I'll double check that structure once we have this guy. We got plenty of time. So there's our Vicio constellation, and it's still got a ways to go before it hits the horizon. So we're probably fine. What could possibly go wrong? I was also pretty happy to get Horologium, which is, I think, the rare one that only happens once per Minecraft month. So I think I did get that one. Yes, I think I got that guy memorized. I think I am missing one, but I forget which one it was. Some of them are only, they're only available like, halfway through the lunar cycles, so maybe like half of the month. So if you're on the, if you're on the full moon or the new moon, you might have to wait half a month or so to get to them or something like that. Now, Vicio is the travel rune, so there are perks. I wonder if I've earned any more perk points. Oh, I've got 18 available points. Well, boy howdy. So I could do more movement speed. And more movement speed. 15% increased attack speed. That's sort of cool. What else can I do? More effectiveness of the perks. More perk experience. Additional fins. Increase my swimming speed. Okay, I don't need to go that direction. I definitely think we want to do that and that and that and that. My field of vision is getting wonky. I might have to try and play with that setting. Swimming speed, swimming speed, swimming speed. I don't do so much swimming, so we probably want to branch left or right. I hope this thing's going to finish. We got that on there pretty early in the evening. But it's possible we stole some of the starlight out of this area with this relay. Oh, it's attuned. Okay, good. I guess I just need to go pick it up. Alrighty. So let's see. Let's take a look at this perks a bit more. I still have 13 more points to spend. And we want to branch left or right. So that makes your boots better. Your plants grow faster. Ooh, +1 reach and mining speed. I like reach. Places light sources close to you in caves. I don't know. That could be cool or not. You know what? I don't actually do much caving anymore. Much spelunking. So why don't we just go ahead and take it? And then I'll see if I like it. So the next time I play this, if I do Astral Sorcery early, if I'm doing some sort of and attack speed sounds good too. If I'm doing some sort of magic only one, then maybe we'll do that. So what's up here? Reduces your overall need for food and dodging. I don't care about dodging or eating because I've got saturation and resistance 5 thanks to my environmental tech personal beacon. More effectiveness. And more effectiveness. And more effectiveness. God, I kept noticing my field of vision tweaking more and more. Oh, man, that field of vision, it's like I'm looking through a fishbowl. Let's see if we can fix that real quick. Let's see, wait a minute, I think I saw something there. Options, field of vision. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, wonderful. Well, now that I've figured that out, I might need to go ahead and put some more stuff on my... Okay, so we don't have... I wonder if that's where that goes. Probably. Well, heck, now that I have figured out that there is a field of vision slider, I'm tempted to go take regeneration off of my personal beacon and put 3 more speed on there. Make us really fast. I'm going to pause right here, check the runtime. I'm going to make sure I know what these are supposed to look like and how to set this up, and then we'll try and get it set up and see if it's working. And then that'll probably be the end of the episode. Be right back. All right, we were on the right track. We just had to take this V out one more, and that appeared all by its lonesome. So that's apparently not something that we have to place. Apparently that's just a graphic that shows you it's working. And hey, there we go. We have juice. I wonder what this does. If it oh yeah, so it will help you out. I don't know what that does. I don't think Vicio does anything to the crafting table, but hey, at least we have one now. For now, I'm going to throw that up in here. All right, and is that it? Could it be that that is it? Or was there one more thing we needed that table to do? Astral Sorcery. Alright, so I might have to pick it up to get it to register. Yeah. Oh, choose this reward. Which loot chest do you think we should choose? I'm thinking maybe we should choose this one. I don't know why there's a choice reward when they're all loot chests, but whatever. So, great. We got some more barbecue, and we'll put this bad boy back down. Is that the right place? Yes. And we hopefully have now completed Astral Sorcery. Booyah. Green check mark. So that's our first magic one that we've completed. Because we've got to go try to destroy a chunk with rifts or something to get that. And I wasn't in the mood. Astral Sorcery down. Nice. And now we should be able to, let's see, we couldn't do this because we needed our elf. Basically all of this was stalled by the Elven Gateway core, which took, was it just star metal? No, there's something else that we needed here. What else was bothering me? We had some other stumbling block, I think. See, we got that and that. We got all this. All right, well, I think we're ready to make our Elven Gateway core then. And we can open up the gate to Alfheim, which then will allow us to get Elementium and things like Elementium ingots and pixie dust. I don't think you can get. I don't think you go to Alfheim. I think you just throw in material. You like throw in Mana Steel and they throw back Elementium or something like that. But whatever it is, I think we now have pixie dust and stuff available to us when we open that portal. So I think we're on our way to fighting Gaia. I guess that's some sort of boss that you summon and fight. And doing that sort of stuff. I remember reading that somebody recommended the tip that you should fight Gaia as soon as possible in the mod pack because it gets tougher and tougher, or she gets tougher and tougher, or whatever it is. Well, that ship has sailed. We didn't do that. So obviously it's going to be tough, but you know, I think we're going to be okay. So that is it for this episode. In the next episode, we want to probably finish our Elven Gateway and start working towards, getting more of this cleared out. I think we'll be able to clear out these last 4 plants. We'll probably be able to clear out, we should be able to clear out that and these and that, these guys. We were waiting on pixie dust from the elf portal. So yeah, I think next episode we'll finish all of this stuff, and most of this stuff is not, I don't think, real interesting, so I'll just do that. And then we will maybe try and start working on our summoning Gaia and doing this fight. Maybe we'll try and get that done next episode. I don't know how complicated it is and how much craziness it's going to be, but we'll try and work on that next. And then that will actually be about that. I don't think there is. Is there mystical agriculture, anything? There's no chapter for mystical agriculture, so there's nothing specific we have to do for that. Although we might need to play with it a bit to get some reagents. So yeah, blood magic. Gonna give blood magic a rest for a little bit just to get my hand to recover. And I gotta look into these rituals and see that now that we've gotten the tier 3 with a decent capacity on it and our magician's orb, maybe we can make the Master Blood Orb and get a ritual so that I don't have to go out of my mind trying to keep the damn blood altar filled with these poor villagers. Alright, well that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.